They didn't swallow pills. They didn't wait for prescriptions. Medieval healers walked into forests and came back with cures. Leaves that stopped fevers, roots that healed infections, flowers that calmed pain. But today, we swallow pills that numb the pain, hide the symptoms, and keep us buying more. So why did herbs cure disease, while modern pills only hide it? Welcome to Forgotten Leaf Secrets. Today, we uncover the shocking truth about medieval herbs, the natural cures erased by industry, and the pills that replaced them. Picture a medieval village at dusk. The healer's hut glows with candlelight, shelves lined not with bottles, but with bundles of herbs tied in twine. Chamomile flowers drying in clay bowls, sage leaves crushed into pastes, thyme simmering in iron pots, its aroma drifting through the air. When fever struck, they brewed teas that cooled the body. When wounds festered, they pressed leaves that stopped infection. When pain consumed, they gave roots that calmed the spirit. These weren't quick fixes. They didn't mask symptoms. They restored balance, healing from the inside out. Every remedy carried centuries of wisdom passed from healer to apprentice, from mother to child. But then came the rise of industry. Herbs were dismissed as folk remedies. Pills were glorified as science, and the cures of generations were buried beneath profit. Yet the truth lingers in forgotten manuscripts, in whispers of old apothecaries, and in the leaves that still grow wild today. Leaves that once cured disease, while modern pills only hide it. Medieval healers trusted herbs because they worked. But centuries later, science finally caught up and confirmed what villages already knew. Chamomile wasn't just calming tea. It contained compounds that reduced inflammation and healed fevers. Sage wasn't just a kitchen spice. It carried antibacterial powers strong enough to fight infections. Thyme wasn't just flavor. Its oils destroyed microbes, protecting wounds from festering. Every herb carried chemistry that modern labs now measure. Yet medieval healers already understood through experience. But here's the twist. As science revealed these truths, industry rewrote the narrative. Herbs were labeled alternative. Pills were glorified as modern medicine, and the cures of centuries were buried beneath profit. Because pills could be patented, herbs could not. Pills could be sold endlessly. Herbs grew freely in fields and forests, so the wisdom of generations was silenced, and today we swallow pills that hide symptoms. While the herbs that cure disease remain forgotten, long before laboratories measured molecules, medieval healers already knew the power of herbs. They didn't need charts or patents. They had centuries of lived experience. Chamomile was brewed not just for fevers, but to calm restless children through sleepless nights. Sage was burned in sacred rituals, believed to cleanse both body and spirit. Thyme was carried into battle, pressed into wounds to stop infection and give soldiers strength. Every herb carried a story. Every remedy was woven into culture, faith, and survival. Healing was not a transaction, it was tradition. But as kingdoms gave way to empires and empires gave way to industry, this wisdom was rewritten. Herbs became superstitions. Apothecaries became unscientific, and the remedies that had sustained generations were erased from memory. Yet, the manuscripts remain, hidden in monasteries, tucked into herbal codices, whispering of cures that modern pills can only imitate. Proof that medieval herbs didn't just mask pain, they cured disease. For centuries, medieval herbs were erased. But science has a way of uncovering what history tried to bury. In hidden laboratories, researchers began testing these folk remedies. What they found shocked them. Chamomile carried compounds that calmed the nervous system better than synthetic sedatives. Sage showed antibacterial strength rivaling modern antibiotics. Thyme's oils destroyed microbes faster than chemical disinfectants. Suddenly, whispers began. Could medieval herbs be the future of medicine? Could these forgotten cures replace pills that only mask symptoms? But here lies the tension. If herbs rise again, the industries built on pharmaceuticals tremble. Billions in profit depend on keeping these plants invisible. And so, even as science celebrates them, medieval herbs remain hidden from your prescriptions. Medieval herbs were never confined to one kingdom. They traveled across continents, carried in satchels of traders, whispered in the manuscripts of monks, and guarded in the rituals of healers. In Asia, turmeric was ground into golden powders used to heal wounds and strengthen the body. In Africa, hibiscus was brewed into crimson teas, lowering fevers and calming the heart. In Europe, rosemary was burned in cathedrals, believed to cleanse the air and protect against plague. Every culture had its leaf, its root, its flower. Together, they formed a global apothecary, a living pharmacy that cured disease without factories, without patents, without profit. But as empires rose, this wisdom was stolen, repackaged, and erased. Herbs became commodities. Their stories were stripped away, their cures dismissed as superstition. And the global apothecary was buried beneath the rise of pills. Yet, the truth lingers. From Asia's turmeric to Europe's rosemary, the same herbs still grow wild today. They cure disease once, and they could cure again. Medieval herbs were never just medicine. They were guardians of balance, for the body, for the land, for the spirit. Every leaf carried healing compounds, but also carried harmony. Chamomile calmed not only fevers, but the soil it grew in. Sage thrived without chemicals, protecting gardens from pests naturally. Thyme spread across rocky hillsides, restoring barren land with fragrance and life. Unlike modern pills, which demand factories, chemicals, and endless waste, herbs grew freely, abundantly, without destruction. They healed people while protecting the earth. Imagine this: no pharmaceutical waste in rivers, no factories pumping toxins into the air, no dependency on pills that mask pain but never cure. Just herbs growing in fields, forests, and gardens, curing disease while keeping the planet alive. But this vision was too radical, too disruptive. Because if herbs rose again, the empire of pharmaceuticals would tremble. Billions in profit would vanish. And so, the plants were buried deeper, silenced harder, erased faster. For centuries, medieval herbs were erased from memory. But in hidden corners of the world, a quiet comeback has begun. In Asia, healers still brew turmeric and ginger, passing down remedies that modern science now confirms. In Europe, researchers revisit rosemary and sage, testing their powers against infections and inflammation. In America, small farms experiment with herbal tinctures, offering cures without chemicals, without factories, without endless prescriptions. Science now admits what medieval wisdom already knew. Chamomile calms the nervous system better than synthetic sedatives. Sage fights bacteria as strongly as antibiotics. Thyme's oils destroy microbes faster than disinfectants. But even as rediscovery spreads, resistance grows stronger. Pharmaceutical giants dismiss herbs as alternative, fearing the collapse of billion-dollar empires. Lobbyists push against their rise, keeping them absent from your prescriptions. And yet, beneath the surface, the truth multiplies. Every herb is a rebellion. Every leaf is a secret waiting to be revealed. A silent comeback that could change medicine forever. Medieval herbs are not just relics of the past. They are visions of what medicine could become. Imagine hospitals where prescriptions are not pills, but gardens. Imagine cities where rooftops grow sage and thyme, curing infections without antibiotics. Imagine families brewing chamomile to calm the nervous system instead of swallowing synthetic sedatives. This is the future herbs promise, a future where healing is natural, abundant, and free from the chains of profit. But this vision terrifies industry. Because if herbs rise again, the empire of pharmaceuticals begins to crumble. Billions in profit vanish. Factories fall silent, and the monopoly on health collapses. So the plants remain hidden, whispered about in labs, rediscovered in villages, but still absent from your prescriptions. A silent revolution waiting beneath the surface. A future erased once before, but impossible to bury forever. The truth about medieval herbs is rising, but so is the resistance. Pharmaceutical giants tighten their grip, flooding the world with advertisements that glorify pills and dismiss herbs as unscientific. Lobbyists whisper in government halls, ensuring prescriptions remain chemical, not botanical. And media headlines echo the same narrative. Herbs are myths, pills are progress. But beneath the noise, cracks begin to show. Patients question why their pills never cure. Doctors quietly admit herbs work where pharmaceuticals fail. Researchers publish studies that confirm what medieval healers already knew centuries ago. It is a storm, a clash between forgotten wisdom and modern profit. On one side, leaves, roots, flowers, traditions. On the other, factories, patents, billions in revenue. The question is no longer if herbs cure disease. The question is, how long can the truth be hidden? The truth is undeniable. Medieval herbs cured disease. Modern pills only hide symptoms. For centuries, wisdom was erased, silenced, buried beneath profit. But the leaves still grow. The roots still heal. The flowers still whisper their secrets. The question is not whether herbs worked. The question is whether we will listen again. Because every pill you swallow is a mask. Every herb you ignore is a cure. And the choice between them will shape the future of medicine. This is the forgotten truth. This is the secret they never wanted you to know. Like and subscribe to Forgotten Leaf Secrets, and see you in the next video.